Hey, before I do anything, I should mention my shows in Louisville, Kentucky, August 25th through 27th. Yeah, the 25th through the 27th of August. I'm going to be at the Caravan in Louisville with my good buddy Jerry Wayne Longmire, star of TikTok fame. Of TikTok fame? Whatever the word is. Jerry Wayne Longmire, good old boy. Fellow whiskey brother. We're going out to Louisville, Kentucky. We're going to be doing shows 3 nights in a row. We may tack something on the way there. Should be full. He's doing really well with kind of like a hair or something on my neck. Ugh. He's doing really well. He's figured TikTok out. He's mastered it. He's on his way to 500,000 followers. Stupid number. Anyway, we're doing stand-up out there. So there you go. I'm in the middle of summertime, which is like usually blockbuster season. Usually when all the big tentpole movies would come out. I don't know why they call them tentpole movies. Did they call them tentpole movies? Or did I just make that up? Is that a real thing? Tentpole? Box office smashes. Those movies. The pandemic changed everything. I don't know what's what anymore. Now it all comes straight to video. You watch it at your house. What do we? I'm a fan of the franchise films. Anything Marvel, give it to me. Harry Potter, nerdy shit. Feed me. Star Wars, that's my jam. If you don't like nerdy stuff, you can probably just bounce this episode. I want to know what Marvel's going to do next. I'm a comic book kid. I grew up on this shit. This is my jam. Everybody gets defensive about superhero films. When a film comes out, they get defensive of their version of the superhero. The film's either true to what they thought it was going to be, or it was an absolute tragedy, or how could you ever disrespect Thor like that? But these people we all read comic books when we read comic books. My stretch was the 90s, right? That's my era. So anything that's in violation of 90s comedy lore, then if it's not part of that canon, I don't want to hear your shit. I remember, so Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man was my Spider-Man. That's the version I remember. So this little high school kid that flits around in all these movies, I don't know who he is. My Peter Parker was married to MJ. She was a supermodel. They lived in a loft in Soho. Then they moved briefly to this really rich apartment in Bedford Heights. And the landlord there was a creepy, rapey, weird old rich dude who was trying to kidnap Mary Jane. Spider-Man fought the lizard like 4 times in that run. It was a weird run looking back at it. I just revisited it on this European trip. I kind of reread some of the old episodes, and man, it is 90s as fuck. Or late 80s, or whatever that era is where the hair was all... Because it went from that Spider-Man era for me, and then I remember X-Men in that era, and X-Force, New Mutants. Because I was a fan of... That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a comic book artist. That was going to be my career, not whatever the hell I do now. I was going to draw comic books, so... In high school, I would read all these books and I would fall in love with the artwork. Not just the superheroes themselves or the stories, but the artwork. So Jim Lee was probably my favorite. I was talking about the hair. Rob Liefeld, the dude who, if you know him from anything, he created Deadpool. He drew X-Force back in, I guess that was the early 90, 91 maybe. I'm not a comic book historian, so don't catch me like lying. But he used to draw, the hair was all that I always call it Linda Hamilton Terminator hair, but I don't even think it was that bad in the movie. So that was my era. I remember that Spider-Man, those X-Men, I wasn't really reading a lot of the Avengers. I read everything Marvel. I never touched DC except for Batman, which was I feel like Batman was part of a totally different universe. I never got into Superman or any of that stuff. So I'm happy that it's Marvel that has become the fixture in the superhero film world and not DC. I wouldn't have known what to do with their dumb heroes. But also, Marvel has kind of reached a point where I don't know where you go next. You've run out of all these big heroes. You've created over now, how many years is it? When did Iron Man come out? 2009, 8, 10? When was I'm sure Marvel had a 10th anniversary. So maybe it's 15 years. I would argue that the MCU is probably, I wonder how many people. Someone should look this up. I should look this up maybe. Am I getting, that light is messing with me. I'm sitting in this sunlight. It's coming across. You can't see it if you're just listening to this on audio. But where I'm at, there's a beam of light cutting through my living room as the sun sets into the studio. And I feel like, all right, maybe I can move back a little bit. What was I saying? That's what the largest, I bet that more people have worked on the MCU than worked on the pyramids. And I know it's an unfair, I don't know how many. The pyramids were all slaves, right? So I don't know how many people worked on that. But a ton. I bet manpower and hours, maybe hours put in. I bet this is the greatest artistic achievement by mankind ever, the MCU. Here's a bold statement. What are they doing right now? I got nothing to look forward to. Not Star Wars, not Marvel. Obi-Wan's over. Boba Fett's over. Moon Knight's over. Doctor Strange sucked. It didn't suck, but it wasn't great. Maybe it wasn't great because I watched it. I was in Poland. You got to be careful now. If you don't watch something the day it comes out, and I'm not even on social media right now, people will screw it up. They will intentionally, hey, man, did you see something? Like, they'll just ruin the whole film for you. Oh, man, I thought for sure you'd seen it. Ask, you asshole. So I went and saw it in Poland with my friend Chase DeRusso. And it had subtitles. Polish subtitles. The film was in English. But it had that at the beginning. This doesn't ruin anything. The girl, America, whatever her name is, whatever. I'm not even sure which hero she is. She's a Marvel something, or I don't even know if she has a name. Just America. She makes star lasers. She's speaking in Spanish at the very beginning of the movie. And I was like, damn, we walked into the wrong one. Because I can't watch a subtitled movie in another language if I know it's already in English. Like, it makes my brain flip. Because I'm trying to read their lips for the English words, and I can't do it. So, anyway, I had the Polish words at the bottom, and then I started, if there's subtitles on a screen, I can't not read them. My brain cannot ignore them. It's impossible. I've tried. I can put my knee up. If they're on the TV, I can block it with my knee or a pillow. I kind of hold my finger up in front of my eye at the bottom of the screen. I can do that, and then they disappear. But if they're on the screen, I will watch them even if I can hear. It's ridiculous. I don't know why I do it. I don't know why my brain can't compartmentalize things like that. Just ignore it, Slade. What's so hard about it? They're just words on a screen. So I'm in this hole. I'm in this TV hole. I don't know what I'm going to watch. I don't know what's next. They're out of superheroes. Excuse me. Maybe they will do some of that X-Force stuff. Maybe they'll they'll do more of what they're doing with Deadpool, and they'll bring Cable back, and we can talk about how Rob Liefeld can't draw feet. I don't even care that he can't draw feet. That's deep cut. Nobody knows. One, nobody knows who he is. Two, nobody knows he can't draw feet. You'd have to go look at X-Force comics from a certain period of time, and then whatever else he drew after that. But it's commonplace enough. It's like a meme amongst nerds. Everything's a nerdy little group with its own little memes and culture. Rob Liefeld's feet. Nobody should know about the way a dude draws feet. Rob, I'm appreciative if you watch this. Deadpool is my jam. That's probably where maybe that's part of the influence to my stand-up comedy career. Some comic book guy I was a fan of, and he's a merc with a mouth. Deadpool. He came out, and it was an X-Force number 2. That's the first time. I didn't have New Mutants money. The book was like $10 by the time Deadpool came into X-Force. I couldn't afford that. I was lawn mowing money. I watch those dudes on. You scroll through Instagram now. You watch these dudes unboxing these crazy statues, superheroes, and signed comic books and original art. Have you tried to buy a comic book page ever in your life? I thought that would be something cool that nobody was into. I was like, I'll just go find the original art. The comic books I used to read as a kid. It's like $10,000 for a page. It's crazy. It's like crazy. I mean, it's normal to somebody. The guys I was mentioning earlier, Jim Lee. It's like $20,000 for a page of his art. If you want something cool like Batman or the X-Men. If you want Rob Liefeld to draw Deadpool, it's like thousands of. I get it. I mean, we charge what we charge. Art is art. It sucks that you're like, I'll never afford that. One day, fuckers. Something so beautiful about black and white ink work, especially in comic books. Just the cross hatching and the line work it's beautiful. And if you read them as. That's why I don't really buy when people start talking about how they didn't like a particular superhero movie. This or that sucked, or this or that wasn't authentic. Like, you got to relax. I think Marvel's doing a great version of putting what I used to read on the comic book page on the screen. Big, slow, epic splash pages, and the graphic design of the cinematography is just sort of the way some of these pages were laid out. I'm looking so forward to not Ragnarok, Love and Thunder. I'd be lying. I should have looked some of this shit up. There's a run that, God, what's his name? Is the author? Is the writer's name Kevin something? Did on Thor, God of War. It's a 25-issue run, and the first 2 arcs cover Gore the God Butcher, Christian Bale's character in the new, I'm going to mess the name up, Taika Waititi, the new Thor movie. Him and Mahershala Ali, I can't ever pronounce the two of them, and I'm sorry to both of you who don't care. Why would you? But I don't pronounce your names well, and I'm an asshole. I'm sorry. That new film is going to be good. The storyline is cool in the comics. It runs for a while, and Gore's a really almost sympathetic character. I don't know how they'll play him in this. And then the Jane Foster's Thor storyline follows that immediately, and it wraps up that 25-issue arc. So you can kind of get ahead of the movie if you want to, but it's some really cool source material. I'm looking very forward to the movie. And then after that, I don't know what Marvel does anymore. Space stuff, Silver Surfer, Fantastic Four. I hope we never see any more Fantastic Four than what we saw in Doctor Strange, for being honest. That's me. That's nerdy stuff. That's me, Hope. I'm trying to get through my summer, and I'm venting about it. I'm sorry. I'm sure there's something cool coming out. I watched RRR, which if you haven't seen that, it's the single great. Somebody asked me, I was trying to describe it to somebody the other day. My friend Mark Hurtado referenced it to me. He sent me a message. He goes, "Just trust me. Watch RRR." And I never say yes to these things. I veto them almost immediately. Don't send me your dumb movie recommendations. Especially Mark. Me and Mark are buddies, but like we don't know each other that well. So he sent it to me like a no look pass. And I sent back. I go, "All right, man. I'm gonna trust fall. Don't screw me." And he goes, "You'll be fine." It is it's the best action movie and the best musical I've seen in 2022. Maybe in the 2020s. Maybe of the 20s. Something came out, I'm sure. It's Bollywood, I think. I don't. Mark was telling me there's a difference between Bollywood and Tollywood and Nollywood, and they all sound like bad Wordle guesses. I don't know what it really is. I think Bollywood, but the actors are incredible. They're the quadruple thready sort of. They sing, they dance, they got martial arts. They can actually act. They're good looking dudes. It's just it's so stupidly imagined. I didn't know. I mean, it's like American film goes to a certain level, right? We're ridiculous, but when we get ridiculous, it's in like the peak of our ridiculousness is maybe Fast and the Furious, right? We're gonna send cars to space. That's one kind of ridiculous. This is it's as ridiculous as you can be while still being rooted in possibility. Nobody's sending a car to space. But nobody's doing any of this stuff in this either. But they could. Maybe. They couldn't. But I don't know. You just have to watch it. Everyone I've referenced it to has reached back out telling me thank you. And I think they all found something different in it. It's that kind. I don't know what else to say. It's 3 hours long. Half of it's subtitled. You can only put your finger over the bottom for half the film. The other half you have to pay attention. So that's my hidden gem. That's my gift to you. If you've never seen RRR, it's on Netflix right now. Just do it. I love things like that no one would ever find otherwise. It's never going to make its way into pop culture. This thing is just going to disappear. It's going to be watched by billions of Indians in Pakistani or wherever the people watch Bollywood films, and then we'll never hear anything of it. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't watch it. Feel free to tell. I don't know. I don't know if there's comic culture in this or not yet. So just if there's something I'm missing, let me know. And I'm gonna go find something else to get me through summer. Come see me in Louisville. Check my schedule for more.